Looking for the next big thing in gaming? Well, it's only a few clicks away at GoldenNuggetCasino.com. GoldenNuggetCasino.com already has the largest selection of online slots in the Garden State, and now you can play your favorite table games with the very first statewide online live dealers in the U.S. It's called Golden Nugget Online Live Dealer. All of the dealers have their own unique personalities talking to you as they deal the cards. Live Dealer is broadcast live from an exclusive studio at the Golden Nugget Atlantic City and streaming directly to you, the player, on your smartphone or your laptop. And as long as you're within New Jersey limits, you can play from wherever you happen to be or on the go. Tablet, phone, or desktop. Wherever you are, you can enjoy the live dealer experience. Play Golden Nuggets Online Live Dealer today in real time, 7 days a week, now from noon to 3 a.m. Blackjack, roulette, baccarat, all live in real time on GoldenNuggetCasino.com. Get started today at GoldenNuggetCasino.com and take part in the newest and most unique online gaming experience a casino can offer. Golden Nuggets Online Live Dealer. Truly the next evolution of online gaming. Must be 21 years or older. New Jersey only. Problem gambler. Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Hello, welcome to another weekly installment of Turnpike Sports. I am Dave Weishuttle, and as always, I am joined by producer and co-host Doug Weishuttle. Doug, hey, how you doing?
Doing good as always. Looking forward to a big football weekend. A lot of division and home field clinching games being played this weekend, so it's going to be a really fun weekend for football.
So what do we got this week?
Well, we've got our normal segments of the injury report and the Turnpike Sports Police Blotter. We also are debuting a new segment.
I have a very interesting interview with Dustin Gouker from Legal Sports Report. We're going to be talking about the New Jersey sports betting case that was just heard right in front of the U.S. Supreme Court. He was actually in the room during oral arguments, and we're going to get his take on what he saw, what he heard, and possibly the future of sports betting in this country.
It's always going to be interesting to see what happens there. You never know how a court's going to rule.
Absolutely not.
And to contact the show, as always, you can call or text us at 609-512-6510, 609-512-6510, Facebook and Twitter at Turnpike Sports, and you can email us at info@turnpikesportsradio.com. Before we go to the break, also want to remind everybody to check out the TurnpikeSportsRadio.com website to see the International Bikini Team Member of the Week. And you can also now order their calendar. It's $10. Ordering information, just email them at info@internationalbikiniteam.org. We'll be right back with more Turnpike Sports.
Have you ever wanted something so bad that you do just about anything for it? Well, that's exactly how we feel about you. That's right. AdamandEve.com wants you so bad. We're giving you 10 free gifts with your first order. You heard me right. That's 10 free gifts to spice up your love life. First, you'll get a sexy surprise for her. Second, an adventurous toy for him. And third, a little something we know you'll both enjoy. Plus, you'll get 6 full-length adult movies on DVD. And number 10, free shipping on your entire order. That's 10 free gifts for you shy types who've never tried Adam and Eve before. Just go to AdamandEve.com and select any one item. It could be an adventurous new toy, a sexy piece of lingerie, or anything you desire. Just enter offer code BABE16 at checkout, and you'll get all 10 free gifts, including free shipping. That's offer code BABE16. That's BABE 16 at AdamandEve.com.
You know, ever since we started this show, people have been asking for advice. Usually it's what team to bet on this week. You got the Patriots or Steelers, Chicago, Detroit. Well, let me tell you this. Where you're betting at is just as important as who you're betting on. So that's why I tell people to go to mybookie.ag. Use promo code PIKE, P-I-K-E, for up to a 100% deposit bonus. There are a lot of online sports books out there. MyBookie.ag is the only one that gets my stamp of approval, and I don't give that out lightly. To get my endorsement, I've got to personally use them, and that means they have to be the best. And MyBookie.ag is by far the best sports book I've used. The rep is rock solid. They do 100% cash bonuses, so off the bat, you're making money for doing nothing. And they have the fastest payouts. Seriously, just 2 business days. It's no different from betting in a glitzy Las Vegas casino, but you can do it right from your smartphone. Go to mybookie.ag to place your bets and tell them I sent you by using promo code PIKE. Get over there and get the best odds anywhere.
Hey, this is Doug Weishuttle from Turnpike Sports with your Turnpike Sports Weekly Injury Report. It was another rough week for quarterbacks in the NFL. Houston Texans quarterback Tom Savage is in the league's concussion protocol following a massive hit he suffered during the Texans-Niners game. Savage lay on the ground with his hands twitching after being hit in the end zone. He re-entered the game for one series, but then left for good with a concussion. Both the NFL and the NFL Players Association are investigating whether there was any violation of the in-game concussion protocols by the Texans. Elsewhere, Philadelphia Eagles quarterback Carson Wentz is out for the season after an MRI confirmed he suffered a torn ACL diving into the end zone during the Eagles' win over the Rams. Wentz was placed on IR and could be ready for the start of the 2018 season. New York Jets quarterback Josh McCown suffered a broken left hand during the Jets' loss to the Broncos this past Sunday. McCown, who was having a career year while playing for the Jets, has been placed on IR and is done for the season as well. Rounding out the NFL, Arizona Cardinals left tackle Jared Veldheer was placed on injured reserve after suffering a broken ankle in the Cardinals' victory over the Tennessee Titans. Veldheer joins DJ Humphries and Mike Iupati as Arizona's starting offensive linemen to go down with season-ending injuries. And finally in the NHL, Vancouver Canucks forward Sven Baertschi will miss 4 to 6 weeks with a fractured jaw. Baertschi joins fellow Canuck Bo Hovert on the shelf. Hovert is out 6 to 8 weeks with a broken foot. This is Doug Weishall for Turnpike Sports. Come back next week, and in the meantime, let's be careful out there.
Welcome back, Turnpike Sports. Wow, what a terrible injury weekend for starting quarterbacks. Now it's no secret. I'm a big Philadelphia Eagles fan, and Carson Wentz went down. Wow, unbelievable.
But they have like a backup that's basically starter 1A with Nick Foles.
Yeah. Nick Foles, Nicky Six. I remember him in 2013. Great season.
The last time the Eagles went to the playoffs, and he was the starting quarterback.
He lost against New Orleans. So and also, I know you've made it known that you're a big-time Jets fan, and your starting quarterback went down as well.
They also just announced that he's going to be traveling with the team to this game this weekend at New Orleans. He's going to be a player coach.
Did they actually name him player coach?
That's what they're calling him.
Right.
He actually went to the team and asked if he could do it.
Josh McCown, good for him.
And before we get too far into this segment, I do have 2 additions because of the Thursday night game, which seems to be an injury-plagued game every week.
Oh, jeez,
We've got Denver Broncos quarterback Trevor Siemian, who was carted off with a left shoulder injury. He's been diagnosed with a sprained AC joint. They're going to do some more tests, see exactly if he's going to miss any time. And then we have Colts tight end Brandon Williams.
Which was very scary.
He got carted off. Boy, it was a busy day for the cart people.
Yeah.
He got carted off on a punt play. He was blocking, and he got jammed in the head by the oncoming rusher, got carted off.
I don't know if they call that a stinger anymore. They used to call it a stinger.
Well, he went to the hospital, got released, and he is diagnosed with a concussion.
It's always scary when they remove the face mask on the field. I don't know why that terrifies me so much, but I hate seeing that. It's a terrible neck injury when they have to mobilize them by taking off the face mask.
That's something new. But before we get too far ahead of ourselves, I have one other little thing. I just wanted to get this out there. Happy birthday, basketball.
Yes.
Today, December 15th, in 1891, James Naismith invented the game.
Absolutely. Hey, and I think, by far one of the most fun Hall of Fames that you can go to in Springfield, Massachusetts, where you can actually shoot basketballs. In the center, it's like a big ring that has different layers, and in the middle there's a basketball court where you can actually shoot basketball.
It's actually a fun place, a little different.
I think so.
All right, here we go with our new segment.
Absolutely. We are going to take a ride on the Turnpike. So hang on, we're hitting the Turnpike.
Exit 1.
NFL return specialist Devin Hester retired this past week at age 35 after 11 seasons.
He has to be Hall of Fame. I mean, is someone that amazingly dominant in their position has to be in the Hall of Fame. I'm not sure if they're going to do that because it's such a specialized thing, but I hope so. How many touchdowns did he end up with?
Here are his stats.
Okay.
14 punt returns for touchdowns, best in NFL history. 5 kickoff returns for touchdowns. He is the career leader in combined kickoff and punt returns with 19 in the entire league history. He went to 4 Pro Bowls, and he was first-team All-Pro 3 times.
I think he has to be in the Hall of Fame, but I don't know. Some of these writers, I don't know what they're thinking.
11-year career just ended this week.
What I was surprised at the other teams. When I think of Devin Hester, I think of Chicago Bears, but he went. I guess he ended with Seattle, right?
He tried to hook on with a couple teams, but he ended with Seattle.
Okay.
Exit 2.
The U.S. Golf Association announced that as of January 1st, all the major golf tours will no longer accept calls or emails from fans watching on TV who think they spot a rules violation.
I never got this rule to begin with. I think it was ridiculous. You have a governing body and officials to do their job, to do this job, and to depend on someone sitting around on an armchair, probably drinking beer and drinking whatever, and then calling up for rule violations. Come on, that was absolutely ridiculous. It wasn't fair to the players involved, and it's not. I don't think it's an objective way. I mean, if you're rooting for someone, you're gonna maybe not report.
No other sport had this feature.
For good reason.
And also, it's interesting that golf was the only sport that had armchair quarterbacks. You would think the NFL did, but the golf tours all had armchair quarterbacks. This all started because Lexi Thompson had a viewer call into the rules officials during a tournament. They saw a rules infraction when she did something with her ball, and then it wasn't verified until she finished the actual overall tournament, the final round. She lost the tournament because it was 2 strokes for the infraction, and then it was 2 more strokes because she turned in an incorrect scorecard.
But she didn't know it was incorrect because she didn't know there was a rule violation in the first place. So how would they know that? But I'm glad golf fixed that. It was stupid to begin with.
All the golfers are rejoicing now. So,
Exit 3.
Las Vegas gets another pro sports team. This time it's the WNBA with the Las Vegas Aces.
One thing that's amazing, the NBA is pretty good about the sports betting thing, and we're not in it for the sports betting going to Las Vegas. They actually named them the Aces, so if that's not a nod to sports betting, I don't know what is.
Well, it didn't make sense what their previous name was. This is not a brand new team.
Stars or something?
This is the San Antonio Stars.
Stars, yeah.
They were bought by MGM in October with the idea of moving them to Vegas, so they're going to be in Vegas. They're going to be playing at the Mandalay Bay, and they're going to be coached and run by Bill Laimbeer.
I love Bill Laimbeer. He was such a badass when I was growing up watching basketball. Oh, my God, he was a terror under the basket. He's the guy you love to hate. I love him.
This is actually Vegas's 4th pro team.
Okay. Wow, okay.
We have the Golden Knights from the NHL.
Okay.
The Oakland Raiders are going to be moving in 2020, or thereabouts. They also have the United Soccer League's Las Vegas Lights Football Club.
Las Vegas Lights.
Yep.
Okay.
So this is the 4th pro team moving to Vegas.
It's interesting. I don't know where they play, but the Mets, for some weird reason, have a minor league team in Nevada called the Area 51s, or they're called the 51s, and I don't know where they play. I'm assuming near 51.
You got me on that one.
So,
I'll have to take a look at that one.
It's a strange. I don't know why. I don't know how they can call someone up that quickly from Nevada to play on their team. I'm assuming they don't, but no, it's the Area 51s.
Well, if anyone knows, email us that information. Info at turnpikesportsradio.com.
Mets fans, give us the location of the Area 51s.
Exit 4.
Here we got a little business. The NFL and Verizon have entered into a massive $2 billion 5-year streaming deal. Verizon, in this deal, gives up its exclusivity for the games being streamed. But Verizon is now the source of all digital streaming on any platform.
I just want to say one thing. This is the reason why Goodell's contract was extended. Don't tell me about the rules. I don't know what a catch is. Don't tell me about the officiating. He's got to do something about the officials. Nothing like that. Nothing about suspensions. Nothing about TV ratings. This is why he was extended. He makes the money. What, $2 billion here? He has the network contracts. What is it? NBC, ESPN, CBS, Fox. That's $7 billion. That's the reason you get extended for the NFL. Not for crappy little things like what people are complaining Roger Goodell does. He makes the money. Well, he will always get extended when you make the money.
You have to look at how his extension was worked out. His extension ends the year after all the TV contracts have to be renegotiated. Yeah. He may get extended depending on how well he does. But right now, anytime you see something on a streaming device for the NFL, you're going to be seeing Verizon. That's who owns it. They're going to be paying $225 million a year under this deal. Their entire 4-year deal before this was $250 million.
Goodell makes some money. Okay, now it's time for my favorite portion of the show. Athletes behaving stupidly. Yes, that's right. It's the Turnpike Police Blotter.
And as always, the Turnpike Sports Police Blotter is sponsored by Bean Genius, beangenius.com to be exact. Have some of the best coffee in the country delivered right to your door each month when you subscribe to Bean Genius. Over 2,000 specialty coffee blends are available at your fingertips at beangenius.com, so subscribe now at beangenius.com/subscription and get 10% off your subscription when you sign up at Bean Genius using our promo code PIKE, P-I-K-E, at checkout. Bean Genius, the smart specialty coffee subscription service.
Makes for a great holiday gift.
Coffee's good every day.
Oh, yeah, no, you can't live without it.
Leading off, we have current Boston Red Sox pitcher, Stephen Wright.
This is a weird one. I heard this on the news. What exactly are the facts of this thing?
Well, first of all, he was charged with domestic assault and preventing a 911 call.
Okay. I didn't even know that was a charge.
I'd never heard of that charge before myself. But Wright was arrested following an alleged argument with his wife.
Okay.
No details on what they were arguing about, no details on how he prevented the call, but somehow a call was made. No alcohol involved, no nothing, no violence, no one hurt anyway. I don't know if there was violence or whatever, but everything was kept
allegedly he didn't touch her or anything like that, right? Or
there was just an alleged verbal argument.
Okay.
Must have escalated, but this guy was an all-star in 2016. He underwent cartilage restoration surgery, made 5 starts last year. He posted his bail. I don't think any charges are going to be filed here other than what was originally filed for the initial arrest. He still faces an investigation by Major League Baseball and a possible suspension under the domestic violence policy.
Well, that's...
No comment from the Red Sox.
No. Is he still on the Red Sox?
They have not released him.
Okay.
Next up, current Seattle Seahawk defensive lineman Malik McDowell was arrested following an alleged incident in an Atlanta nightclub.
Oh, boy.
Now, McDowell...
A Seahawk is in an Atlanta nightclub? Okay.
Don't ask me. Yeah, it's where he probably lives. But he hasn't played this season. He was out for the entire year because of a concussion he suffered in an ATV accident.
Oh, wow. Okay.
In the offseason.
All right.
Now, what happened here, McDowell and a friend were asked to leave the nightclub after they allegedly were reportedly emptying bottles of champagne into buckets and drinking from the buckets.
Okay.
Then, when he was escorted out, he started shouting outside the club, at the doors to the club, saying that someone had stolen money from him. Then, this is the funny part. When the officers came in and started escorting him away, McDowell threw himself, and this is in the police report, McDowell threw himself onto the ground and threw a tantrum.
Okay. Well, he's literally drinking buckets of champagne, so...
Yep.
But
I think the final straw was when he started yelling at the police.
Oh, no, you don't do that. You don't do that. Well, you know what? Like I said, buckets of champagne will do that to you.
Next up, we have a coach.
Oh, coach.
University of Texas, El Paso, special teams coordinator and safeties coach Don Yanowski was arrested for alleged DUI.
Okay. Is this another one after the game?
No.
When? Okay.
This is why I've included it this week. This was before the game.
The night before?
Early morning,
wow.
before the team traveled to a game.
I know the student athletes have a curfew. I was just assuming that the coaches had a curfew, that they'd be there looking after their team.
This is a team in total disarray.
Okay.
UTEP. I hate saying it that way, but University of Texas El Paso.
Well, everyone says it that way.
They've got no head coach.
Okay.
The interim coach has retired, and the entire staff is totally in limbo this season.
Wow.
Janowski was stopped for not signaling for a lane change when the police officer pulled him over, smelled alcohol, and they noticed his red bloodshot eyes, so he was arrested under suspicion of driving while intoxicated.
You know, we ought to try to get the athletic director on, but to see what the hell's going on with that team, but I'm pretty sure they would not come on. I would bet good money they would not come on.
I think no comment would be the answer.
They wouldn't. No, they wouldn't even respond.
That's what I'm saying. Even if they wanted to do that, but
Doug books the guests, so I'm assuming they wouldn't even respond to you.
No, I'd probably have that one thrown back at me. So last one we have.
It's a long one. This one.
Rich Swann, a professional wrestler for the WWE.
Okay.
Was arrested for simple battery and false imprisonment. Swann and his wife were returning from a wrestling match, an engagement, a show, whatever you want to call it.
Where he was wrestling?
Yes, he was wrestling. And so was she, because she's a
wrestler.
They're
both
professional wrestlers.
Okay.
She started critiquing his performance in the ring. He got angry. She jumped out of the car. He chased her around the car, yelled at her, and allegedly grabbed her, put her in a headlock, and dragged her back into the car while she was screaming.
Wow. Okay.
Personally, I'd like to see why he was able to get her into a headlock. If she's also a professional wrestler, she should have been able to wriggle out of that one.
Wow, that's boy. You know, I would think wrestling couples would be comfortable with their partner critiquing them, but I guess not.
Last word right now.
I guess it goes deeper than just wrestling.
Well, last word for that: the WWE stepped in and suspended him.
Both of them?
No, just him.
Okay.
He's indefinite.
All right. Well, no, you can't do that. You know, it's you do it in the ring. Keep it in the ring.
Yeah, they probably should have.
All right. Stick around. Hear my interview with Dustin Gouker from Legal Sports Reports. He's going to be talking all about the New Jersey sports betting case. He was actually in the room when arguments were taking place in front of the U.S. Supreme Court.
10% off at beangenius.com/subscription using our promo code PIKE, P-I-K-E, at checkout. 10% off.
Stick around. We'll be right back with more Turnpike Sports.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Well, the holiday season is upon us once again, and we all have a hard time deciding on the gifts to get our friends and families, right? Well, our friends at Bean Genius have made it easy for you. How? Coffee. That's right, give them the gift of coffee by ordering a gift subscription to Bean Genius. It's the perfect solution. Bean Genius sells freshly roasted coffee from some of the best independent coffee roasters in the country. They feature over 2,000 specialty coffee blends, all at your fingertips. And Bean Genius actually learns their individual customers' taste preferences and then suggests future coffee blends for them. Right now, you can send your loved ones a gift subscription to Bean Genius. Head on over to beangenius.com and click on the gifts link. Then choose from 1 month, 3 months, 6 months, or a full year subscription. It's that simple. And now you can save 10% off your gift purchase with our promo code PIKE. So sit back, enjoy the holidays a little more, have a cup of coffee, and let Bean Genius take care of everything. And save a little money yourself by getting 10% off your Bean Genius gift subscription by using our promo code PIKE at checkout. Show your loved ones how much you care with a gift of coffee delivered right to their doorsteps with Bean Genius. That's beangenius.com and save 10% off with our promo code PIKE.
Do you wake up with a sore neck or a bad back? Or maybe you just had an awful night's sleep? Must be the bed, right? Well, maybe it's not your bed. Maybe it's your pillow. That's why I use MyPillow. I sleep great at night and wake up pain-free. And now there's a great deal being offered by the folks at MyPillow. Go to MyPillow.com, click on the Radio 4-Pack Special tab, and use promo code CARDS or call 1-800-319-7913 to take advantage of this 4-pack special. You'll get 2 MyPillow premium pillows and 2 Go Anywhere pillows, all for one low price when you check out with our promo code CARDS.
You've heard the commercials about the 60-day money-back guarantee, 10-year warranty, and its patented interlocking fill. But really, get MyPillow because you deserve a restful, deep, comfortable, and healing sleep. That's the Radio 4-Pack Special at MyPillow.com or call 1-800-319-7913 and use promo code CARDS. Better sleep starts with MyPillow. Welcome back to Turnpike Sports. You know, one of the most important gambling law cases in recent years has just had its day in front of the U.S. Supreme Court. And as a gambling attorney in New Jersey, I depend on our next guest to keep me informed of everything that's happening in this case. From Legal Sports Report, he is Dustin Gouker, and we're lucky enough to have Dustin here to tell us all about New Jersey's day in front of the Supreme Court and where sports betting is going from here. Dustin, thanks for joining us.
Thanks for having me on. I appreciate it.
You know, I've always called this the case that would not die. Just when I thought it was over and done with and buried, something weird and new pops up. You've covered a lot of things for Legal Sports Report. Are you surprised about the twists and turns that this case has taken?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, when we think back to it, this case has been around since going back to 2012. New Jersey first tried to pass a law legalizing sports betting within its own borders, lost all the way through the federal courts that first time. Then we had a second iteration of the case where they changed their law slightly differently, didn't get any different outcomes until the Supreme Court actually agreed to take the case. So, yeah, it's kind of crazy to think that it's all this has happened and that we actually saw Chris Christie in the courtroom.
For people who aren't aware of the ins and outs of the case, what was the major thrust of New Jersey's argument in front of the Supreme Court?
Well, yeah, I like to say that the Christie versus NCAA is all about sports betting and not about sports betting at all. It's going to be, the case comes down to basically federalism and how the federal law that bans sports wagering outside of Nevada, the Professional and Amateur Sports Protection Act, interacts with state laws. Now, the federal government can ban things, it can regulate things, and New Jersey's argument is that PASPA kind of basically tells states what they have to do when it comes to sports betting. It tells them that they have to keep their prohibitions or whatever law they have on the books in regards to sports betting on the books. And New Jersey argues that that's not right, that that's not constitutional, and that they should be able to repeal their own sports betting laws under PASPA. They're also arguing that PASPA, this federal law, basically commandeers states, tells them what they have to do, which is basic principle of the Constitution and federalism. And, the end result would be legalized sports wagering in New Jersey and possibly beyond. But the real thrust of the case is this constitutional interaction between PASPA and what it tells states to do.
I know it's extremely difficult to try and figure out what the judges are actually thinking, but from the tone and subject matter of their questions, were they pretty receptive to New Jersey's arguments and position in the case?
Yeah, I think there were hard questions at both sides. I was actually in oral arguments, and you can actually go listen to the oral arguments online if you so desire. But I think the general sense from me and everybody else who was in the room at the time was that they were definitely more sympathetic to New Jersey's side. They definitely asked some tough questions of General New Jersey counsel Ted Olson, but the tougher questions, in my mind, came to the leagues. The other side is represented by the NCAA and the major professional sports leagues in the U.S., the NFL, Major League Baseball, the NHL and NBA. So there was definitely tough questions for them. There seemed to be a majority of justices who thought that New Jersey's argument was compelling, which is has a lot of people kind of handicapping it that New Jersey might get enough votes to win the case and ultimately offer sports betting sometime in 2018.
Now, did the justices seem to really focus on a particular issue in their questioning, or was it across the board with regard to constitutionality or the statutes? Where were the judges' questions focusing on?
Yeah, a lot of it was basically on that idea that we talked about a little bit earlier, commandeering, whether PASPA tells states what they have to do. States, the majority of the court is a little bit conservative. They usually side with the states when they're trying to with what they're trying to do. They side with the states in constitutionality issues, so they don't usually give delegating more power to Congress than the federal government. So. Yeah, I think it was mostly around this idea of whether PASPA does something that the Constitution does allow in telling states exactly what they have to do, that New Jersey can't repeal its own sports betting prohibition if it wants to.
When we talk about the possible outcomes of the case, it's not just a matter of whether New Jersey wins or loses, but there are a couple scenarios that could take place and different ways the court can rule. What are some of the possible outcomes that could occur because of the judge's decisions? Yeah,
there's a pretty wide swath of things. Now, I mean, even in play is that the Supreme Court just upholds what happens, in the lower courts. So they just said, actually, you guys got this right. New Jersey is running afoul of federal law, and they can't legalize sports wagering. The other options are a full strike down of PASPA saying it's unconstitutional, which would not only let New Jersey legalize sports betting, but let other states do so. There's a couple other states that have actually already passed laws that would allow for sports wagering if PASPA is struck down, Pennsylvania and New York most prominently. And then there's the possibility of this narrow victory for New Jersey where the Supreme Court rules that New Jersey's law is okay under PASPA, that PASPA still stands as constitutional, and that New Jersey could offer sports wagering, but it would be, in this law that New Jersey passed that doesn't allow for a regulated market, doesn't have any kind of government taxation or licensing. It would just kind of let sports betting happen at the racetracks and at the casinos in New Jersey, which I don't think is an outcome anybody wants, but it's a very real possibility kind of in that middle ground that, some people, some legal analysts think is a possibility that the Supreme Court comes back with that decision.
As you said, one of the possible scenarios is PASPA is declared unconstitutional. In your opinion, would that just completely open the floodgates for other states to start sports betting? I know that's the best case scenario for New Jersey, but you just mentioned Pennsylvania and their recent gambling expansion law. I know they have a section for sports betting. Will that just across the country just open up sports betting everywhere?
Yeah, what we're going to see, I think, if in the scenario where PASPA gets struck down and that means states basically, the ball's in the state's courts, they can do what they want with sports betting. They can basically the way it works is every state that isn't offering sports wagering has some kind of prohibition in their state statute. So they could go back into those and change it. Any state that has casino gambling of any type would obviously love to open sports books and offer sports betting. So you're going to see a quick groundswell of states taking a real look at this. Well, like you said, Pennsylvania already has a placeholder law. New York has a placeholder law where its commercial casinos could do so. We saw Connecticut and Mississippi kind of take first steps toward possibly legalizing sports betting. They require a little more action, and then we're going to see, just a lot of other states kind of just consider it. I know West Virginia, Michigan are kind of the states that we're looking at that are possibilities, but there's going to be more. I mean, I think there's states kind of waiting to see what happens with this case, and then if the verdict comes back for New Jersey, I think we're going to start seeing a lot more of activity in state legislatures around the country. I want to ask you about the more complicated scenario, and that's if PASPA is declared constitutional, but New Jersey is allowed sports betting under their, deregulation theory of the case. How would that look like in New Jersey? I mean, I know the Department of Gaming Enforcement always sets up regulations with regard to casinos in New Jersey. I mean, would they not be allowed to set up regulations for sports betting? I mean, how do you see the state handling sports betting if PASPA is still on the books? Yeah, it's a really messy question. That's why I said I don't think anybody really wants that. New Jersey, passed this law in trying to challenge PASPA. They don't really want unregulated sports betting that this law would create. And I don't know exactly what it would look like. The Department of Gaming Enforcement there has said that they've created regulations already to deal with sports betting, whether that's for the event of a full strike down of PASPA or if they're going to try to implement those if they get this narrow victory that we're talking about. I don't know. But if they try to do that, I think they're kind of back into the problems that PASPA presents, in that the PASPA prevents authorization by the state of sports betting. So if regulators in the state come in and try to regulate it and tax it or do any of these things, then we're talking problems that I think that might light us back in court. So, but I also don't think New Jersey has much desire to, just let sports betting go on untaxed, unregulated, and with no kind of hand from the state. So it's a messy question. I think everybody's hoping they avoid that, but it's also a very real possibility. And I'm not sure I'll know exactly how it will shake out until we see the rubber meet the road in that scenario.
Yeah, I know. I've talked to a lot of people, and they're wondering, under that scenario, I mean, can you collect license fees? I mean, how do taxes collected? Do you have to let the casinos make a profit, then tax that profit? And no one knows. Have you talked to anyone in the government who's had reservations of allowing sports betting, but with PASPA still on the books?
The sense is, the regulators in New Jersey and the operators really kind of work hand in hand. They make sure that things are going smoothly. I mean, New Jersey is a gold standard as far as it comes to online gambling and its land-based operations too. So I think there's a path forward where they let it kind of go on, but with some kind of it's not like it's going to be totally unregulated. Nobody has interest in fixed sports matches and all this. There's going to be third party insight. You're going to have the way it'll go down. Even if the state doesn't have a hand in it, there's going to be the casinos themselves have no interest in having something that's not above the board. So they're going to take every precaution. They have a lot of these casinos have experience in Nevada or experience in other markets. So it's an open question for sure. Like I do think there's a problem with trying to tax and license actual sports betting operations in this narrow victory that we're talking about. But I think we're just gonna have to wait and find out and hope for the best that we get a more clean ruling from the Supreme Court.
Stick around. We'll be back with more Turnpike Sports. Do you wake up with a sore neck or a bad back? Or maybe you just had an awful night's sleep? Must be the bed, right? Well, maybe it's not your bed. Maybe it's your pillow. That's why I use MyPillow. I sleep great at night and wake up pain-free. And now there's a great deal being offered by the folks at MyPillow. Go to MyPillow.com, click on the Radio 4-Pack Special tab, and use promo code CARDS or call 1-800-319-7913 to take advantage of this 4-pack special. You'll get 2 MyPillow premium pillows and 2 Go Anywhere pillows, all for one low price when you check out with our promo code CARDS. You've heard the commercials about the 60-day money-back guarantee, 10-year warranty, and its patented interlocking fill. But really, get MyPillow because you deserve a restful, deep, comfortable, and healing sleep. That's the Radio 4-Pack Special at MyPillow.com or call 1-800-319-7913 and use promo code CARDS. Better sleep starts with MyPillow. Welcome back to Turnpike Sports. For those of you just joining us, we're talking with Dustin Gouker from Legal Sports Report about the recent sports betting case heard in front of the U.S. Supreme Court. I know with regard to sports betting, it seems that the professional leagues are slowly starting to come around on the idea of sports betting. I know the NBA suggested that Congress have some federal framework when it comes to regulating sports betting. Regardless of the decision of the Supreme Court, do you think Congress will have to address the issue of sports betting and get involved with it in the near future?
I don't think they absolutely have to. Now, this, like I said, this narrow victory that creates unregulated sports betting is kind of the nightmare scenario both for the leagues and for the state and for anybody. Like, nobody wants that. So I think that's the scenario that creates the most momentum at the federal level to create, to change the sports betting law in the country. Right now, obviously, Congress itself is kind of a mess. There's not much of anything getting passed. They're working on tax cuts. That might be the first major legislation passed this year, if and when they do that. So it's just kind of hard to imagine how a sports betting law gets passed, in this current environment. Next year is an election year for the House of Representatives. So, I don't see a whole lot of momentum at the federal level till possibly 2019. But, it's something that a lot of states want. States would like to, that already have casino gaming. Most of them would just love to offer, sports betting in tandem with their other products or at tracks so I think you're going to see increasing pressure from, state legislatures to the federal government saying, hey, let's do this. This is stupid that we're not doing it. I think that momentum can manifest itself. I don't see it like in the next year or so, but, in a longer horizon, I do think there'll be some will to do something at the federal level.
I can tell you one group that is completely not on board with sports betting is the NCAA. Is there any consideration being made to college sports with regard to sports betting? If I recall correctly, I think New Jersey's original statute didn't allow sports betting on New Jersey schools even if they were playing away games. Is there any consideration being made with regard to the NCAA with regard to sports betting?
Yeah, I mean, that's going to be an open question as things roll out. Like you're correct on the way the New Jersey law is written, but they can take wagers on other college games anywhere else in the country. And the way the law is written, it's going to be definitely interesting to see what happens. The NCAA has already kind of boycotted New Jersey for its championship level events. We don't know what it would do if other states start doing the same thing. The NCAA recently said it's going to start seeking carve-outs from any state-level sports betting laws, which I think is kind of self-defeating. There's already tons of wagering going on college football and college basketball games, both in Nevada and a regulated market, where we've seen no evidence of any kind of match fixing, and it's also going on, to the tune of billions of dollars of handle via offshore illegal sports books. So the idea that carving out NCAA games is a good idea from sports betting laws, I don't think that has a whole lot of grounding in reality, but it's something the NCAA is probably going to try to do. They have been an enemy of both daily fantasy sports and sports betting kind of all the way along. There's not much reason to think that's going to change. So I think you're going to see the NCAA kind of be an opponent and trying to push back against the idea that people should be able to wager on their games in a legal and regulated market.
You've alluded to this a little bit before. I want to ask you, now, if New Jersey wins this case, and keeping in mind that New Jersey is one of the few states that allow online real money casino games, how likely will it be that New Jersey will allow online sports betting in the near future?
I think it's pretty likely. Now, in this scenario where the pass would get struck down and New Jersey can go back and kind of change its laws, I think they would go back and pass a law that says, hey, we can have online sports betting. I don't think even in this narrow scenario where they might have, some kind of regulation under, if they just allow it, if the Supreme Court allows it just in New Jersey, I don't think that really opens the door for online sports betting. I think that's really problematic. But New Jersey obviously would like to have online sports betting too. There's no reason they wouldn't have that. Casinos and the tracks wouldn't want to have, an online sports betting, mobile sports betting product alongside, like I said, online poker, online casino games, which have, done really well. Adding sports betting to the mix just, makes, those products even better and, helps with retention for the casino. So I think we'll definitely see that depending on the verdict, within the next year even, and they'll be ready to go. Nevada sports betting law allows for online sports betting. Pretty much every major casino out there has online sports betting. So, it's something that's, not new, not reinventing the wheel, and I think we'll definitely see it in New Jersey if the law allows it.
I really want to get your opinion on this. One thing I heard recently, I talked to an international gambling consultant who does work with casinos and sports books, and he said if New Jersey won the case, he could see a possibility that storefronts around the state would open up in the same vein as OTBs, off-track betting. Have you heard those type of predictions, and is that a possibility for the state of New Jersey?
It's not a possibility in the way the law is written. The law is written, even if they just give New Jersey a win on the narrow statutory way it's written, it only allows for sports books to be operated at the state's existing racetracks and casinos. So you're not going to see that scenario. The scenario you're talking would be if New Jersey went back and said if they happen to lose, New Jersey could potentially go back and do a full repeal of its sports betting prohibition, which would, in theory, allow for sports books anywhere in the state. Now, I don't think there's a decision that's going to come from the Supreme Court that's going to necessitate that. I also don't think that there's a political will to allow to pass a sports betting repeal that allows sports betting everywhere. Nobody wants just sports books everywhere running in an unregulated fashion. That would be a really bad scenario, and it's a bad thing for a politician to vote for. So I don't see that as a super likely scenario, but it's one that's been bandied about. There's a bill that's out there that would fully repeal the sports betting prohibition, and then the theory is they'd go back and put in zoning laws to kind of limit where sports betting could take place. But I don't see that as a terribly likely scenario.
Now, I'm hearing that the decision from the court will probably be handed down in May or June of 2018. what's going on right between the time right now and the time the decision is handing down? I'm asking this because I heard announcements that William Hill is putting more money into Monmouth Horse Track, and that MGM just announced that the Borgata Casino in Atlantic City, they want to build a $7 million sports books. Are these projects on hold until the decision is handed down, or are they starting now?
No, I know I've talked to MGM. They're starting to work on upgrading the race book at Borgata so that it can, turn into a sports book. And they're going to put in just more TVs, make it something that can be convertible quickly to a sports betting space. I don't know if they're actually, tearing down walls and stuff right this second, but they might, before a decision actually comes out, or they might just wait. But, like I said, they already have race books at these places. There's a race book already, obviously at Monmouth Park. That's a sports bar that's sponsored by William Hill. Yeah. They don't have yet, but the idea is that they quickly, open up betting windows. And that's not a huge amount of cost or labor to do that, especially when they already have a race book. And like I said, Borgata, being a first mover in this space, Borgata would like to, they already kind of are the dominant force in Atlantic City gaming. They'd like to keep that status. So if they're putting a little money into a sports book ahead of time, like let them cement that place in the event that sports betting is legalized, then it's money well spent for them.
The other reason I'm asking this question is because I think 2 seconds after oral arguments were done, outgoing New Jersey Governor Chris Christie announced that New Jersey can start taking bets 2 weeks after the decision is handed down. So I'm thinking, are there components in place right now that would allow New Jersey this quick turnaround to start accepting bets? And is that a realistic time frame, 2 weeks after the decision is handed down?
I think 2 weeks might be a little fast, but it's not that inconceivable. I mean, they've been, this law's been around for a while. Everybody's kind of, eager to get going. Monmouth's been the one that's most vocal about it. They basically said, yeah, we'll be, as soon as we possibly can, we'll be open. The question for me is whether New Jersey does try to fill in with regulations, not a new law, but like that the Department of Gaming Enforcement says, okay, here are the regulations that you have to abide under. That's the open question. I don't know what they're going to do from that standpoint. If they do that, I think they have problems under federal law again. But if it's a full strike down of PASPA, they quickly implement those regulations. Sports betting could definitely happen within, I'd say 2 weeks is too soon. I'd say a month is more likely, but I think things start happening quickly for sure in the event of a New Jersey victory.
Well, let me ask you the all-important question. By this time next year, will New Jersey have sports betting?
I really think so. I think they've been underdogs kind of all the way. Like I said, they lost in federal court. I think 5 times before this. The fact that the Supreme Court even took the case was a great signal that at least 4 justices thought the case was worth talking about. That means they probably only need one more voted minimum to get a majority that's on their side. And everybody that I've talked to, both legal analysts and Supreme Court media that I overheard or read, everybody seems to think that a majority of justices are on the side with New Jersey. Now that's not a lead pipe cinch, but I'd say if I was betting on it, I'd definitely put money on New Jersey having sports betting this time next year.
Dustin, we're running out of time, so can you give your website or Twitter address where people can read your articles and keep up with this story?
Sure. LegalSportsReport.com. We cover daily fantasy sports and sports betting issues. And over at Online Poker Report, we cover online gambling and its intersection with sports betting as well. And on Twitter, I'm at Dustin Gouker, Gouker.
Dustin Gouker from Legal Sports Report. Thanks for joining us and keeping us up to date on this important story. Stick around. We'll be right back with more Turnpike Sports. Do you wake up with a sore neck or a bad back? Or maybe you just had an awful night's sleep? Must be the bed, right? Well, maybe it's not your bed. Maybe it's your pillow. That's why I use MyPillow. I sleep great at night and wake up pain-free. And now there's a great deal being offered by the folks at MyPillow. Go to MyPillow.com, click on the Radio 4-Pack Special tab, and use promo code CARDS or call 1-800-319-7913 to take advantage of this 4-pack special. You'll get 2 MyPillow premium pillows and 2 Go Anywhere pillows, all for one low price when you check out with our promo code CARDS. You've heard the commercials about the 60-day money-back guarantee, 10-year warranty, and its patented interlocking fill. But really, get MyPillow because you deserve a restful, deep, comfortable, and healing sleep. That's the Radio 4-Pack special at MyPillow.com or call 1-800-319-7913 and use promo code CARDS. Better sleep starts with MyPillow. Looking for the next big thing in gaming? Well, it's only a few clicks away at GoldenNuggetCasino.com. GoldenNuggetCasino.com already has the largest selection of online slots in the Garden State, and now you can play your favorite table games with the very first statewide online live dealers in the U.S. It's called Golden Nugget Online Live Dealer. All of the dealers have their own unique personalities talking to you as they deal the cards. Live Dealer is broadcast live from an exclusive studio at the Golden Nugget Atlantic City and streaming directly to you, the player, on your smartphone or your laptop. And as long as you're within New Jersey limits, you can play from wherever you happen to be or on the go. Tablet, phone, or desktop. Wherever you are, you can enjoy the live dealer experience. Play Golden Nuggets Online Live Dealer today in real time, 7 days a week, now from noon to 3 a.m. Blackjack, roulette, baccarat, all live in real time on GoldenNuggetCasino.com. Get started today at GoldenNuggetCasino.com and take part in the newest and most unique online gaming experience a casino can offer. Golden Nuggets Online Live Dealer. Truly the next evolution of online gaming. Must be 21 years or older. New Jersey only. Problem gambler. Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Welcome back to Turnpike Sports. Well, that was a fun-filled hour again. That flew by.
I can't believe how quick these shows go.
Yeah, that's pretty quick. But, hey, we wanted to take this time to wish everyone a happy, healthy, and safe holiday season.
Happy holidays, everybody. See you in about 2 weeks.
Yep, and as always, see you on the Turnpike.